Hello and welcome to session 6. These last 3 sessions are going to be just a little bit different. They're going to all focus specifically on listening to and for God. Now this can be a little difficult because when we say we are going to listen, we expect a voice to be speaking back to us. But when we listen to God, it's not always like that. Sometimes it is. You may, in fact, hear the voice of God. But sometimes listening for God involves simply being aware, perhaps, of the voice of our own soul. I've heard some people describe the voice of God as a nudge, a feeling that one gets. I've also heard people describe listening for God as a knowing, something that we simply know to be true, deep within our hearts and souls. So listening for God is not necessarily about listening for a very specific voice, but simply taking the time to be aware, to be in touch with our own relationship with God, to be in touch with our own souls, to spend that time ready to hear that still small voice. So each of these next 3 sessions will give you an opportunity to take some time for listening. So our scripture passage today is just one verse, Luke chapter 6, verse 12. Now during those days, he went out to the mountain to pray, and he spent the night in prayer to God. So we hear that Jesus regularly took time away to himself in order to pray. In the midst of his busy life, Jesus recognized the need for some quiet and some solitude so he could both speak to God and so he could listen to God. Now, I find that it is often so difficult in the midst of our very busy lives to find some times for quiet. Jesus struggled with this as well. Occasionally, when he sought to get away, the crowds would simply follow him. I find I sometimes need to write into my calendar quiet time with God in order to make sure it happens. Now, however it might happen for you, this week I do encourage you to find some time to spend in quiet and in solitude. Listen for God in the quiet. What is God saying to you in these quiet moments?